There was once a saying amongst great men, there are two things that are certain in the world, being American and not knowing how to use chopsticks, and also the release of a brand new Pokemon game. I think it was either Albert Einstein or Benjamin Franklin who said that. Yeah, for sure. While some people look forward to the holidays and spending time with family, people like me, we look forward to renewing our contracts with Game Freak every year. And unlike the contracts that they're getting over there in the NFL and the NBA, they're not giving us money, we give them money. Millions of dollars, in fact, each year. It's almost like a reverse contract, think about it. With that being said, it wouldn't be a yearly release if Game Freak didn't find a way to piss off the fans and embroil it in some kind of controversy. Whether it be through the numerous glitches and other graphical issues with the game, or the ridiculous amount of pop-in or other glitches that occurred during gameplay. However, that's not going to be my main topic in this video, because I'm sure you've heard plenty about all the issues with the game. And I don't want to fucking just add to more of that shit. We already know Game Freak doesn't do the best job with creating games. I mean, this is fucking evident, obviously. It took them this long for them to even make something remotely close to a 3D open world Pokemon game. If you're like me, this is something you've been wanting for at least a decade plus. Instead, I will give you my honest thoughts and opinions on the game, share with you some of my experiences with the game, what I think could have been done better, what I think they should have left alone, some things they should have improved, some things that they made worse, and just overall, you know, is it a good game? Not from the point of view of a game critic, but as a point of view from somebody who actually enjoys the games almost every year. So if you go on to enjoy the video, a like would be much appreciated. Also hit the subscribe button and hit the notification so you get notified whenever I upload. And yeah, let's get straight into it. Off of that, I want to get one huge complaint out of the way, just to get it out of the way. There's no fucking legendary on the title screen. Why is there no legendary on the title screen? When did they stop doing that? Why do they stop doing that? That was one of my favorite parts, was getting to see the legendary on the title screen. I don't know why. That's a huge thing that they have stopped doing here recently for some reason, and it fucking pisses me off kinda. Anyway, moving past the title screen, we're brought to a relatively simple character creator, with the in-depth character changes that you can make to your character aren't very thorough, and you can't really do a whole lot in terms of creating your own character. Moving past this, we're brought into the intro cutscene of the game, flying us through the region and showing us the region we'll be exploring for the next several hours. And I must say, it does look very pleasing. It looks very good, very bright and colorful, plenty of Pokemon running around, which is something I really do like about the newer Pokemon games, is the fact that the Pokemon are actually running around in the overworld and not just random encounters. Then once we're in our home, we quickly realize another huge change is that we can actually move the camera around our character, which was a huge problem in Pokemon Sword and Shield, but I'm glad to see that they've at least made an effort to change this. This doesn't keep the camera from getting stuck in some battles though, and it can lead to some pretty funny moments, or some pretty annoying moments depending on who you are.
Look at Randy Orton slithering. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! KO! Here's the cover!
Overall, a much needed change. Then after our mother signs over our rights to the professor, we can begin our journey into the world of Pokemon, where our first task is, of course, choosing a starter. Now, I know it's a controversial take, and this is always a huge arguing point amongst fans, but if you don't choose the fire-type Pokemon, then you clearly are not someone that I would get along with. Although at least this year they had some pretty decent designs for the starters. Having the choice between Fuecoco Puff, Grass Kitty, and Donald Duck, I still went with Fuecoco Puffs, but of course, you know, to each their own. And now with our starter Pokemon selected, oh, of course our rival one's to battle us. Because why not? Why not just bully the kid that just got their first Lego set? Because what better way to introduce us to the world of Pokemon by introducing us to the world of hope and defeat? Except not for us, for our rival. Because we absolutely mopped the floor with her, and afterwards it's clear that she isn't taking it well. However, once we settle our marital dispute, we can now venture forth into the world of Pokemon, where we meet an interesting fellow who just gives us a legendary Pokemon like that. You know, like they were little souvenirs that you get whenever you buy something from the gift shop.
Since your order got picked to be filmed, throwing in this keychain for free.
Anyway, after promising to only do good and definitely not do evil, we hear a strange noise that causes us to follow it, leading us to a cave where we see Koraidon's true powers until he gets tired and decides to take our lunch. And this is where our true journey begins, our true quest, finding more fucking food, because obviously our Pokemon just took our last little bit of food. And now we can move freely throughout the map, and this is where the game truly begins. Now that we're in the open world, the new changes to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are very clear, starting with our objectives. Gone are the days where your primary goal was to obtain all 8 gym badges and defeat the Elite Four to become the champion. And now are the days of get all 8 gym badges, as well as defeating several Titan Pokemon and clearing out several of the enemy camps spread throughout the map. These events will reward you with different things based on which tasks you complete. For example, the Titan Pokemon allow Koraidon new ways of traversal, such as climbing up mountains, jumping higher, running faster, gliding, all that shit. Whereas clearing out enemy camps provides you with several Pokemon materials, as well as new TMs that you can create in the Pokemon Center. TMs, for those who aren't aware, are teachable moves that you can teach to your Pokemon that they do not learn naturally as long as they meet the certain conditions to learn that move. In games previous, these would be items that you would pick up off the ground and you would find randomly spread throughout the map. However, in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, this was changed to being done at the Pokemon Center, still allowing TMs to be found throughout the map. This makes it a little bit more convenient in terms of being able to teach your Pokemon new moves or different moves. However, I didn't really use this system much throughout my time playing. Besides this, you are still tasked with your regular goal of completing the Pokédex, this time consisting of 400 Pokemon that you have to catch, some being trade exclusive and some being version exclusive. However, even with these new challenges added to the game, in order to see the credit screen, you will still need to defeat all the gym leaders and become the champion, something that has remained true to Pokemon from the beginning. With this in mind, it leads us into our next discussion, and that is discussing the Pokemon themselves. Fuck, the main fucking point of the game. The whole idea around the game. How do the Pokemon look? How do they feel? How do they smell? How do they fucking sound? All that shit. And well, I must say, it is really fucking cool getting to see a lot of the Pokemon in 3D form. After not getting to see some of them since the DS era of Pokemon, having them in a 3D form will always be one of the coolest things in the world to me. Very few things will replace the feeling of having a Zoroark in 3D, sleeping next to a Ditto in 3D. It's truly incredible. However, one main gripe I do have is that, like Disney and their old franchises, they won't let the old Pokemon die. There's only 109 new Pokemon that have been added to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. There are 400 Pokemon total, which I wasn't the best at math, but if we do a little bit of simple math, that leads 291 Pokemon. Yeah, 291 Pokemon that have already been seen, or that were in games previous. And that's fucking crazy. They're basically relying on nostalgia to keep the games going and to keep the franchise alive, which will only last for so long. And the new Pokemon that they did add, some are just variations of Pokemon that were already in the game, such as Tyranitar and the fucking robotic Tyranitar, the Screamtail and Jigglypuff, as well as a few other examples I just can't think of off the top of my head. Game Freak is just so afraid to step out of their realm of comfortability and to try something new, and it clearly shows in this game. You know, they have billions of dollars, they have all the money in the world to do whatever they want to, and they basically keep shoving out the same game every year, just with a little bit of variation, or something's a little bit different. But you know what? I'll still be there day one to buy it, and so will millions of other people. And that's just power of Pokemon. But I'm getting off track. Back to the game. You know, it's still the same style of combat. You know, you pick your move. Pokemon does this thing. You know, you got walls of tech. No voice acting. Typical RPG Pokemon shit. However, this time around, the new gimmick involved is terastallization, which is actually pretty cool in that it allows you to basically change the second type of your Pokemon. So if it's, well, fucking, let's just say, like a water type, well, it could terastallize into an electric type. So then it's not weak to electric type moves anymore. It's just another gimmick or another element that adds a little variety to battle and adds for some pretty cool Pokemon builds as well.
Oh shit, you guys actually made it to the conclusion? Well, fuck yeah, man. If you made it this far, you gotta leave a like and subscribe. I mean, why not? You've already made it this far. Go ahead. Hell yeah, I appreciate it. Anyway, I didn't really think you'd make it this far, honestly. I didn't really prepare anything, so I guess I'll just give you my final thoughts on the game. I kind of look at Pokemon as like a year-long experience. I kind of look at each one as something that's supposed to last me the whole year, as opposed to something I'm just supposed to play through and then not play again for a little while. And so far, I mean, it's only been a couple months. What, a month? Maybe a month and a half? But the game has done a pretty decent job of holding my attention so far. Of course, you have Game Freak moving at a snail's pace to release any kind of updates, and at least they've done some unique Terra Raid battles and had some unique Terra Raid events as well. But overall, the game is pretty solid. I think it's moving in the right direction, which is always a good sign. I don't think we're moving backwards. I think we're just kind of seeing the groundwork be laid, or the foundation, if you will, for this beautiful mansion that Pokemon is trying to create. And I really hope that Game Freak is going to knock it out of the park and continue to build upon what they've already created with Legends Arceus and now Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. They've taken several aspects of the Pokemon formula and improved upon them in ways such as the auto battle system, and personally I find the terastallization system a pretty unique way of spicing up the battles and changing up the usual formula that goes on in Pokemon games. I think they need to try to get more creative in their designs and not just rely on all the old Pokemon to carry them through like they have been, as well as they need to add goddamn Mightyena to the game. They need to add Mightyena to the game. That would make the game 1,000 times better all by itself. Come on, Game Freak. I know you can do it. I know someone out there is hearing this. Put him in the game. He's lonely. He wants to come back. He's ready to make his return. Just don't fuck him up. But other than that, the world of Paldea, while it is pretty bland in itself, there's not much to do out in the open world other than see Pokemon, you know, catch Pokemon, you know, all that jazz. You know, the environments aren't very inspiring. Like I said, they're kind of bland. But hey, I didn't expect them to knock it out of the park on the first go. And if anybody did, then you obviously haven't been playing the games for very long, because it's taken us this long just to get here. So it could be another 10 years before we even get to Breath of the Wild levels of Pokemon games, which when that day comes, we'll be sitting pretty, and boy, we'll be eating good. You fucking know it. But shit, it's my main complaints with the game before we sign off here would have to be some of the aspects with the open world. Like I said, it's pretty bland. The whole way that they went with the legendaries, I liked it, but I feel like they could have implemented, like, giving you a different Pokemon, like a mythical Pokemon or something like that, rather than make that the legendary, because I feel like that took away from the impact of the ending of the game with what very little story was there. Which brings us to the other main complaint, which would be the story. If they would have a good story to go along with it, I feel like, you know, a lot of the other issues could be looked past. As long as there's good story, you know, solid combat, you know, the Pokemon are good, which is Pokemon, you know, they're gonna still use the same ones as always, so at least it won't just be all brand new ones. Lord knows they won't take that risk again. But if they put more emphasis on the story and take time to develop their characters, take time to develop the relationship and bonds between characters, have them spend time with each other, develop relationships amongst themselves, fully flesh out the world of Pokemon, then it would be so much better. It would feel like Pokemon, I guess, if that makes sense. Because whenever you were a kid playing the games, it felt like you were that kid going on that adventure. You know, you were that kid setting out, going to conquer the world, ready for any challenge, ready to become stronger, and ready to become the very best like no one ever was. You were ready to catch them, and that was your true test. And you were ready to train them, because that was your cause. Where now, it's kind of lost its spark. Like, they've lost their edge, almost. They've made it too simplified. They've taken away the grind. They've tried to appeal to masses of people instead of focusing in on what made it unique and what made it Pokemon. And I think once they really nail that again, then the Pokemon community as a whole will finally be able to say, this is our Pokemon game. This is what we wanted. And we'll be able to breathe a sigh of relief because Game Freak didn't let us down. But hey, only in a dream, right? You know, let's see what happens. I know they can do it. You know, only time will tell. There's plenty of time to go. They got plenty of Nintendo consoles, I'm sure, to come out. Let's hope they can do it. Hit the like button if you think Game Freak's gonna make a comeback. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, a subscription would always be appreciated, as well as a comment with any feedback and any video ideas you have for in the future. I always love reading the comments. I really appreciate all the feedback. I really appreciate all of you people being here, and I really appreciate the fuck out of Pokemon. Stay cool, stay chill, stay lifted, stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.
With that being said, it wouldn't be a yearly. With that being said, it wouldn't be a yearly release. With that being said, it wouldn't be a yearly. Fuck. Whether it be through the.